Alright, playing the 1-2 uncapped game at the Golden Nugget, and the first notable spot comes in 7-handed play. I raise a 12 from the low jack with pocket 3s. The big blind defends, and we go heads up to a flop of king jack 3, so welcome sight with bottom set on a board that contains both straight and flush draws. Big blind check calls my c-bet of 15, and we go to a turn of a 10 of hearts. Not the greatest card, but gonna keep firing and I make it 35. The big blind calls again. River comes a 7 of spades, and big blind checks for a third time. I take the green light in an effort to get more value, targeting a king or perhaps 2 pair. I bet 100. He folds. Next time the button raises to 10, and I defend from the big blind with queen 10 offsuit. We go to a flop of ace jack 7 with 2 diamonds and a heart. Action checks through. Turn comes a deuce of diamonds, and I'm going to utilize my hand for its removal properties. I bet 10, the button calls. We go to a river of an ace of clubs. I reach for chips, and he just folds. Next spot I raise a 12 from under the gun with ace king offsuit. I pick up 3 callers from the hijack and the blinds, and we go to a flop of ace 8-5 rainbow. Solid flop, and when it checks to me, I see bet 25, hijack calls, and the blinds fold. Heads up to a turn of a jack of spades, putting up backdoor possibilities. I continue the aggression for 70, and that's where the action ends. Shortly after, under the gun raises to 8 and picks up 4 callers before it gets to me in the small blind with ace queen of spades. I 3-bet to 45, and only the initial raiser calls with 45 back. For that remaining amount, there aren't going to be any flops that I'm going to fold, so I just jam before the first 3 community cards are dealt, which comes king 10 deuce. He calls off, and I'm going to need some help. Turn comes a 7, and the river comes a deuce. Not going to win this one, but fortunate not to lose either as he tables ace queen of hearts for the chop. Next time there's an under the gun straddle, and there are 4 callers before it gets to me in the big blind with king 8 of diamonds. I take the aggressive route and raise to 35, and pick up 2 callers from the hijack and button. 3 ways to a flop of queen 3 deuce rainbow. With backdoor diamonds and holding a king to remove some king queen, I've got a solid candidate to c-bet. I make it 45, and that gets the job done. The button straddle is on in this next one, and there are 5 callers before it gets to me in the small blind with ace king offsuit. I raise to 35, and it folds to one of the callers in the hijack, who jams for 72. It folds to me, and it feels like a good situation. I call, only to get shown pocket kings. Looking for a suck out run out, it doesn't come, and I double this opponent up. Shortly after, there's an early position limp, and I raise to 15 from the cutoff with ace jack offsuit. The early position limper makes a call, and the flop comes jack 9-7 with a spade draw. Early position checks, and the opponents have been playing fairly straightforward, so with top pair on a dicey board, I'm just going to bet this one and lean towards a fold if raised. I bet 20. He calls, and we go to a turn of a blank 4 of diamonds. Good card to keep firing. I put out 60 and get a fold. And immediately after, I pick up back-to-back blackjack. There's a button straddle with a middle position caller. I raise to 20, and both the button and the limper call. And we go 3 ways to a flop that comes similar to the previous hand. Is jack 10-7 with a diamond draw. The middle position limper that I doubled up from the ace king versus king's hand leads for 35 with around 75 back. Just gonna go with my hand and try to play for the rest of it. I raise to 75, button folds, and middle position does jam for 110. I call. 4th street comes the 5 of hearts, and 5th street comes the ace of diamonds. This can either be a good card or bad card, and I get confirmation that it's the former, as middle position tables jack 10 offsuit. Couldn't bury greenstein my opponent last time, but this time, I fortunately find an ace on the river. Next hand I make a light open to 12 from the hijack with 5-6 offsuit. Small blind calls, and we go heads up to a flop of queen 4-3, all spades. Small blind check raises my $12 bet to 25, and I should probably just fold, but the oxygen that they pump into these Vegas casinos clouds my judgment, and I call. Turn comes a 9 of spades, so I do hit a dirty out, making a baby flush. Small blind bets 25, I call again. River comes a 10 of diamonds, and small blind puts out another 25. It feels like my opponent is trying to milk a donkey, and given that Eeyore was my favorite character in Winnie the Pooh, I oblige. He tables king queen off with the king of spades. Yeah, that was some bad poker. Hand immediately after, I raise a 12 from the low jack with ace queen offsuit. The big blind defends, and we go heads up to a flop of 8-8-6 with a spade draw. Big blind leads for 25, and I don't know. I call, and we end up going to a turn of a 6 of clubs pairing the board. He jams for 135, and is ace high ever good here? I guess he's got like 7s through jacks and is just trying to deny. I just let it go. Last hand, there's a button straddle, and I raise a 20 from the low jack with jack 10 of diamonds. Button calls, and the flop comes queen queen 4 with a diamond draw. I see bet 15. He min raises the 30 with 170 back. I don't know if this is the best play, but with an ace high flush draw, I guess I could just call. With jack high, I feel like raising can't be too bad. I make it 100, and I'm just willing to gamble if he rips. It doesn't come to that though, as he releases his hand. Lock this one up. Alright, just finished the session here at the Golden Nugget in downtown Las Vegas. First time ever playing cash games here in the 1-2 uncapped game, and I bought in for 500, out for a whopping 523. So book a profit of $23. Not huge, but hopefully it's some momentum building towards the next session. I just want to give a few quick shout outs to wrap up this video to James and Greg, as well as Calvin, support of the channel. Hope you enjoy the card protector, and I'll see you guys in the next video.